YouTube, welcome to my channel, Anna Bella, and today I'm going to be reviewing Zack Snyder's Justice League. Oh my goodness, yes, I know, I'm late, but this is a 4-hour epic and it deserves significant attention. Wow. Well, I finally got my copy for £10 at my local supermarket. That's by the by. I know you can stream it and you can get it on Google Play and HBO Max and wherever, and Amazon Prime, but I got mine for £10. 2 discs, by the way. So it is a 15. Would like to point that out. It is not suitable for children. Here are my 2 discs. Ta-da! Oh, and it came with this. Ta-da! I'm extra super happy today because I finally managed to get my Bluetooth remote to work, so yay! Yeah, so I'm really pleased. A, that the Bluetooth works, and that this was amazing. Absolutely loved it. Loved the Black Cape Superman. Loved the fact that we had the whole Justice League storyline hint. So many Easter eggs. I mean, Lois Lane and the drawer with the pregnancy test and the ring and everything. It's, you know, oh my goodness. Yeah. The reason I think that Justice League flopped, well, the Joss Whedon one, oh, I know. See, this is the thing. When making a superhero movie, people, particularly with DC, people haven't sort of accepted the fact that DC Comics is very much in the 15. I mean, they fiddled around with the 12A. It's why 2016's The Suicide Squad went wrong, because it was the totally wrong rating for it. It should have been an R. It's also why Batman vs Superman flopped, because people can't understand why Batman would choose to fight Superman. It's illogical, it doesn't make any sense, and that's because we all know that Batman is insane, but also Batman operates on the premise of, well, what if all of my metahumans, my alien immigrant friend, goes loco? How are we going to stop him? And it is an important concept, but it wasn't executed. It wasn't explained very well, and that's partly because Bruce Wayne is insane, but it didn't tell the audience that in any way that was constructive, and people just rejected the concept. They're like, but Batman and Superman are friends and they work together. And I'm like, yes, they do, but this is the first time they've met, and when they meet, it isn't brotherly love. And people are like, but what is it about the name Martha? Yeah, it is confusing, and that's got absolutely nothing to do with the Justice League, except it has. All of this has. It's because they're not clear enough stories to tell. I mean, what DC should have done is they should have made Man of Steel first, which is what they did correctly, but they weren't expecting the negative reaction, which was totally wrong, because I actually enjoyed that movie. It was just so different to how Superman has been presented in the past. He's been presented as very good, very straight, not conflicted, not earthy, not gritty, not a person, and Man of Steel showed him as that. And then we had Batman vs Superman, and that just compounded confusion, because we had the hint of the whole Jason Todd storyline, but we never saw it, and perhaps that would have helped to explain why Batman's not in his right mind. Not that he's ever been in his right mind. And then we had the disaster that was Suicide Squad. But I think before that, what they should have done is they should have made Mad Love. If they'd have made Mad Love as a separate film that focused on Joker and Harley Quinn and how they met and the fallout for the Jason Todd episode, everything would have been so much more clearer, because you would have gone from Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, or you could have gone Man of Steel, Mad Love, or you could have called it, I don't know, Jason Todd, perhaps. You know, he deserves some credit, perhaps that, and then Batman vs Superman, then Suicide Squad, or something like that. It should have been flowing, and because we haven't seen these key things, it made Justice League really foggy and confusing. And Zack Snyder's vision in this, because he's got the 4 hours to tell the story that he wanted to, is beautiful. Everything fits, the pieces align, it's great. The character that I would say that gets the best job is Cyborg. Absolutely loved his backstory. Such a shame it got cut, but I fully get why they didn't kill his father in that one, because it was a 12A. This is a 15. This is a little bit more gritty. This is gritty DC. And to be absolutely honest, I think DC should get rid of the 12A and just go with the 15 rating, because that's where its comics are at. That's where its fan bases are at. It's a little bit more, it is adult. And there are really conflicting things. It's why the Suicide Squad, this year's The Suicide Squad, worked so beautifully. I really enjoyed that. And it was partly down to the great foundation that Zack Snyder laid in this. There were huge echoes of it in the Suicide Squad. In the Suicide Squad, yes, at parts it was a little, perhaps, overlong, but it allowed the characters to tell their tale. So we found out about Ratcatcher 2 and her father. We found out about Bloodsport. I loved the scenes with Idris Elba. It was just magic. You found out about each of those characters in detail. Maybe not Peacemaker, but they were allowed to breathe. And it was the same in this. Every single character was allowed to breathe. And it's interesting, whilst I was watching this, I was like, so that's why that happened in Aquaman. I was like, so that's why Wonder Woman was like this. And then in Wonder Woman 1984, suddenly it all made sense, because I had a clear structure for that character. Characters need clear lines of development. And what we should have had, particularly with Harley Quinn, is we should have had mad love, and they should have devoted significant time to that. And I know why they didn't, because they didn't want to upset domestic violence charities. But when Harley Quinn was invented, she was invented for a specific purpose, and her purpose was to make the Joker kid-friendly for the cartoon TV show. And it was basically an update of the Punch and Judy show, which does feature domestic violence and a policeman and a crocodile and a load of sausages and a baby that may or may not get battered on the head by Punch. So it's a whole thing. And because they were like, we're going to make everything 12A, it'll be fine. I was like, the material they were working with is not 12A, it's 15. They need to embrace that, and I know that's going to affect their sales in America, because they don't have the wonderful older teenage rating that we do in the UK. They have an R, and to go to an R, if you're 17, you have to be accompanied by an adult, which is just ridiculous, because they go from a 12A straight to an 18, effectively, which is nuts. They should have a 15 rating or a 14 rating for older teenagers with more complicated material that is not, requires a mature audience. But brilliant, love this. Cyborg, great. Wonder Woman, great. Flash, great. But Flash had good setup in the Joss Whedon one, because they want to make the Flash movies and do the whole time Speed Force thing. Oh my goodness, we're in a multiverse now, so the Elseworlds will happen. Loved this, absolutely loved it. Henry Cavill's performance as Superman was just spot on. Bruce Wayne, brilliant. You could actually see their performances and you could actually understand their characters. Love Cyborg so much. Wonder Woman in the Joss Whedon version does have a stronger story, but in this you actually have less time with her and Victor, which allows Victor to make some decisions, because I think he should. And it's nice that Wonder Woman, and Victor bond, and I think that's great. It's sad that you don't really get the bonding of anybody else in the group. I mean, I know that Flash and Batman have early interactions, but it's not really a bond, and you kind of get the feeling that Flash is like the Peter Parker of the group, the one that they have to have, but actually they just accept him, but they are aware that he's younger. So you do have this weird kind of like understanding level. Aquaman's interesting in this, and he's always saying to Bruce Wayne, you crazy, you're insane. Fabulous, fabulous. The Vision is there, Darkseid is there, Steppenwolf, his design was brilliant, actually all the other characters. And I think what's the hardest thing in DC is all the characters know what the other characters are doing, but they don't all get round and have a conference. So Amanda Waller knows what Batman's doing, what Joker's doing, what Harley Quinn's doing, but she's never in a room where everybody's together and they all do the nod. Like, yeah, I know what you do. 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 So you don't have the connections. This was like watching a live action comic book, but it was dusky and slightly depressive for obvious reasons. It had that sort of, you know, this could turn either way, and I liked that. And I know that was it. Some people would have found that unnerving, but that is unnerving because that's how Batman feels all the time, and that's how the Joker feels all the time. That it is unnerving, it is gritty, and that's, see, the big problem DC has is everything, their whole world is built through Bruce Wayne's vision. So yeah, it is interesting. 5 out of 5, excellent. Jared Leto Joker, super. I loved it. This is really difficult to do when you have Marvel and the Infinity War Endgame series at the same time, when you compare both, because you've got Batman having nightmares, ooh, like Iron Man, and I know that they're similar companies and they do have, you know, the rivalry and everything, but actually this is a grittier world, and I think that needs to be respected and valued, because I think people have got so used to thinking, oh, they're so good and so true and and I'm like, yes, but that's in the children's version of them. If you read the adult version, there is a huge lot of meat there to go through. It's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. 5 out of 5, really enjoyed this. The soundtrack was epic. Good old Hans Zimmer was on note. The performances were allowed to actually breathe so they could act, because normally it's like, stick the suit on, be fine. This was great. Loving the fact that Lois Lane was just so valued as a character. Yeah, Martian Man-Eater, loved that inclusion. There's just so much in this, and Alfred, his part was acknowledged. Brilliant. What was actually missing was, I would have liked to have seen a little of Amanda Waller. I know that sounds a bit bizarre, but you would feel that connection, you know, dot the dots, come on. Oh yeah, and they also had Lex Luthor in this. It was just brilliant. You just felt that this was a great platform if they were going to do any more sort of like Zack Snyder stuff. I don't know if they will, but this was fantastic, absolutely brilliant, and it actually deserves to be 4 hours long because it brings all those characters together. And actually, now that we've had Aquaman and the second Wonder Woman and they're playing the Flash movie, it all fits into place, because this is not Shazam. And I think that that's really important. Let the kids have the Shazam and let Superman visit, obviously not wearing the, well, I mean, he could go wearing his black cape and suit, that would be interesting, but let the main DC stuff exist where it should do, like through a Gotham, gritty Gotham lens, because I mean the original Batman was a 15 for good reason too, like the tie-dye, yeah, good. Really enjoyed this. I've babbled enough as it is. Absolutely fantastic. Love the inclusion of Darkseid. It is difficult because similar stories but different universes. Yes, so I really want to see Darkseid's Armada now. I do feel cheated. I'm like, I want to see that Armada. When's it coming? Are we going to have a nice portal scene, or is it going to be slightly different? And I know people would be like, but didn't we just have that with Thanos? And I'm like, that's Marvel. I want to see how DC handles Darkseid, because now we've got him and he's here, and he's ready, and it's his time. And no, he does not snap his fingers. This is going to be good. We want to see the Superman versus Darkseid. I want to see Superman snap. You know, if we're going to go the whole injustice thing. I feel cheated of Lucy Quinn now. I feel cheated. I would like more. Maybe that's a good place to end, when you want more. Or we're going to get really good Elseworlds. That would be good. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, comment and subscribe. I'm going to use my little remote now. Woo! Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you for the support.